Kung Pao Chickens is the name of a band. Catchy, huh? But name has nothing to do with the kind of music they play. The Kung Pao Chickens play le jazz hot, a clarinet, a bass, and 3 guitars. And sometimes I think it takes 3 guitars to equal 1 Django Reinhardt. Every Monday for years now, the Kung Pao Chickens have ruled the Laurelthirst pub in Northeast Portland. There are 5 of them here tonight, but the lineup varies according to who's playing in which other band at the time. Pete Krebs started the band, he's on the right, but he left for Europe where he lived for a year or so. He came back not long ago, and he plays with them when he can. The star of this version of the Chickens is guitarist John Neufeld, who you may remember from our story on his other band, Jackstraw, who play bluegrass.
This is not like a normal undertaking to play this kind of music. It's like playing Django Reinhardt music is not something you just start doing.
So what did you have to do to master it?
Well, I don't think I mastered it. but no, it's just, you know, you have to sit down with it all the time, you know. On the days that you have your gigs, even the days you don't have your gigs, you have to kind of constantly be in that mode of, you know, trying to play with feeling and, you know, practice your stuff enough so that once you get up there to play, you don't think about playing. You just, you know, play with your feeling.
Stars above, know the one I love, sweet Sue, just you. And the clouds on high know the reason why, sweet Sue, just you. No one else, it seems, enters in my dreams. Without you, dear, I don't know what I do. In this heart of mine, you're there all the time. Sweet Sue, just you.
Well, you have to have some seasoning in a band like this, and although nobody is alive who sat in the Hot Club of Paris and heard this stuff, Gary Gunther is always in the clarinet chair, adding context.
I'm completely an ear jazz player, although everybody in my family reads music like crazy. I can barely read music. And I haven't read music really since 1960 when I was in a band in college. And so I've learned to play by ear, and of course the original quintet of the Hot Club from Paris had a clarinet player, had a couple different times. And I always thought it felt real nice to play a clarinet along with guitars. And I particularly like having, originally there were 3 guitars and myself, and there are now, but many times we play with 2. But when you have 3 guitars playing rhythm and they're all playing well together, it just is a great energy field to improvise on top of.
is it that appealed to you about the music?
I guess because like the first time that I heard him, I almost started crying. It was like such like amazing feel of a player, and then you learn about his story of, you know, he got like when he was 18 years old and he was already an accomplished guitar player and tenor banjo player, and his hands got burned and he had to totally reteach himself how to play with 2 fingers. You know, after I found that out, I didn't know that when I first heard him, and then I found that out, and I just thought, this guy had more determination than almost any musician I can think of, you know. It's really powerful music, you know. It's pretty much ahead of its time, yeah.
It's incredibly expressive music, and very lyrical and sentimental in a lot of ways, but also very exciting. Plus, Django is a really unique talent. I mean, there are now people who play as well as he did in some ways, but I never cease to be amazed by hearing a Django solo. It always fascinates me. You know, he's a great player.
Because John and Pete are busy in other bands, there isn't much rehearsal, except when John comes over to Gary's little rehearsal hideaway to jam.
And make sure you get that melody right.
Well, what should we play?
Well, let's do a little of that Juice Ambiance. We started that, eh?
Yeah, do that nice little intro. I want to, 1, 2, 3.
Do you guys rehearse a lot, or how does that all happen?
Oh, we've had probably, what, like 5 or 6 rehearsals? Something like that. Maybe not even that, you know. We got together when the band first started and, you know, just played around, and every once in a while, you know, some of the guys can make it over here to Gary's house and we'll try to learn a couple new tunes, but pretty much all the time it's, you know, if you learn a new tune, you write out a chart and give it to everybody, and, you know, it's just something to follow as far as the chords or whatever, and then you just go with it, you know.